Hello and welcome to One Cut. I will be your host, Stefany Busch, and here with me today on the end of the couch is Cal Lindberg, a junior music business major here at CMU. Right next to me here is Nick Croza, a sophomore and a music performance major. Thank you for coming. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're super excited to have you. So first, Cal, we're going to be talking about a piece of music that you guys kind of did together.
Yeah.
Will you tell me the name of this piece?
Yeah, this piece, it actually didn't have a title for the longest time. I wrote it kind of as an instrumental hip-hop kind of tune, just on my computer, messing around one day with some sounds and some chord changes. And then I ended up orchestrating it and arranging it for a jazz combo. And then I let Nick over here do a little bit of rapping on it. And I got the name from one of his lines. It's called "The Nature of Vibration."
Okay, so you got the name from the piece of rap that Nick did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Mm-hmm. And Nick, so question for you now. Who all is in this piece? Who is all included besides you two?
So yeah, we have great musicians on this. We have the CME Jazz Combo, like was said. One person you'll hear is Mike DeConish playing the saxophone. Mm-hmm. He's a great buddy of mine and an amazing musician and just guy in general. He's really, really cool. And Cal playing guitar. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good group.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So we're going to get into watching this for us all. Really excited to see that. But before, what were some challenges that you may have faced when rehearsing?
Yeah, rehearsing can always be a bit of a challenge. I would say one thing with this whole project, I was kind of involved in a lot of parts of it. I wrote the music, I arranged it. I had to help with the rehearsal a little bit. I also did the mixing and editing on the audio. And kind of just the challenge for me was to make sure we kept like moving along to the next thing. So I would write a draft and bring it in, and people would learn parts of that, and then I would need to write some more because it wasn't filled out enough. So something that tends to happen in a process like that is you don't always give your musicians enough time to learn things. There were a couple parts on this piece that I wish I would have given musicians their music a little bit earlier so they could have had more time to learn it, more time to get familiar with it. Rehearsal time is limited, so I think that's a struggle when learning any piece of music. But yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with how it came together, and people learned their music and played it well, and it was a fun project.
Great. Well, I'm sure when we look at it now, we will not see any of those difficulties you had.
No.
So definitely, let's get to it and check it out.
All right. 2, 3, 4.
image. Speaking on the microphone is a privilege. Imagine 21st century education where you can study the nature of vibration, the ability to play in complete relaxation. Imagine what you learn before graduation. Music needs a solid foundation, harmony, rhythm, and a little flirtation. Speaking of rhythm, louder doesn't mean faster. You really gotta skate if you wanna wear Thrasher. At CMU, you can start the next chapter. Your artistic questions, they demand answers. At CMU, you can learn from the masters. My buddy Tim Emmons and Dr. Kamstra. Tim played Friday the 13th. No lies, if you've seen him, then you know Jason never dies.
All right, guys, that was great.
Thanks.
Seriously, I that rapping really caught me by storm, and I loved it. So, so Nick, can you talk to us about what inspired that rapping in this pretty traditional jazz piece?
Yeah, so we discussed creating a piece of music to promote the jazz combos. It's really one of the cooler parts of the program at CMU. So Dr. Kamstra asked me if I wanted to, come up with some lines, and obviously when you're trying to promote your school, there's some things that you should say about it. And CMU is a great place to be, so I tried to put that in the music. The line at the end that I threw in there about Friday the 13th is because Tim Emmons, who teaches bass and stuff, he played on a bunch of movies in LA. He played on like The Incredibles, he played on Up, like a lot of Pixar movies, and he also played on part 6 and 7 of Friday the 13th, which I happen to be a huge fan of. So I emailed the composer and I was like, is this real? Is this true? And not expecting to get a reply. And he totally emailed me back saying it was true. So it's that's my connection to the universe of Jason, so I used that as my last line.
Wow, huge piece of information. I don't think any of us knew that we had a professor that was so intertwined with so many incredible things. So he played the music in this in those movies or conducted things.
He played bass, I think. He's kind of just
bass.
a studio legend from LA.
Wow.
So it's really
Jason
cool.
comes around the corner.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Well, you guys are very lucky to have him, I'm
We are.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So Cal, question for you now. You said previously that you are the composer and writer of this piece, and you also played that guitar in there. So have you composed many pieces before for a large group like this, or a medium-sized group of musicians?
Yeah, I've done some writing for stuff like that, mostly in a school setting. I've written some pieces for jazz combos before. I've done some writing for larger ensembles in an orchestration class as well. But yeah, I would say I'm still pretty new to that. It's fun to get into that. You have a lot more opportunities to have different instruments play different things and express things in different ways. And something I like to think about when I write like that is, changing the texture. You can have different instruments play the same line and it'll sound very different. So that's one of the things that I think can be really fun when you're writing for larger ensembles, and yeah, something I hope to do more of.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, you're definitely really good at it. So
thanks, appreciate it.
Yes. So question kind of for both of you guys, compared to maybe other jazz pieces you've done while your time here at CMU or outside of the classroom, why did this one speak to you most to really edge on performing it and pursuing it?
Yeah, this is pretty different from a lot of the stuff that I have played in jazz combos before. It's you know, it's more of a hip-hop groove, which is kind of a place jazz has more recently gone, or a style that has come from that, but is not so traditional in that sense. Nick, do you have anything that?
Yeah, what I really like about that particular piece is there's a great use of space. There's not way too much going on at once, and so there's space for, during the solo, the chords aren't moving so quickly that it takes you on this crazy journey. It just let Mike really unpack the box on what was going on there and then set up a great groove for me to rap over. So I really enjoyed it.
Thanks, man.
Very nice. I love the compliments that we're having here between you two. Very authentic. It's very nice. So, seems like you've got all these pieces I've heard from you two, at least. Haven't really talked to the other people in your performances, but you've got some fusion definitely going on. Is this something that CMU has always been known for, or have you been more traditional in past years? Is this a newer thing for you guys?
Yeah, that's kind of hard to say. I would say that within the jazz side of music and academic music especially, just one of the big parts of that genre and that style is bringing together different kinds of music and different sounds and different instruments, and I think it's always been about that, but we're kind of seeing more of that mixing of styles and genres lately in where jazz is going, and I think the academic world and CMU as a part of that really reflects that shift lately. So it's kind of a new thing, but it's something that has been happening for a little while, and I think it'll continue to be like that for some time.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So for you two, do you have more some similar kind of career goals with music outside of college and in the future when you graduate and things like that? Like, what are your aspirations within music?
Yeah, my aspirations are kind of to keep doing stuff like this. I like to be involved in different parts of the creative process and writing and producing and playing new music. It's always fun for me, and it's really fun to be able to work with people like Nick who can bring stuff to the table that I probably wouldn't. I'm not much of a rapper myself, so it's cool to collaborate with people like that.
Great. Well, thank you so much, you two. It's been lovely having you. And thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of One Cut. We will see you next time.